Wow. Love this rest area. Nice big parking spaces. Picnic tables, pavilions, clean. Trucks in the distance, not too close. It's early evening and it's still, I think the weather app said 90 degrees. So it's too soon to stop. I'm really tired. I'm really debating about just heading back to Rocky Pine Retreat tiny home, and I will explain to you, or I'll give you a little synopsis summary of this mini go-see-do to the beach. Sure was fun. And I love this kind of place as a second home. The big wide world with beautiful rest areas. Hope you'll join me. Linda here, Serene and Simple Life. It's a new day. And I'm still here. I'm still here at the rest area that I just showed you right before the intro, or my pre-intro. I decided about 7 o'clock last night that I just wanted a little bit more fill of the area, and I was really, really tired. So I decided to power through the heat and get a fill of one more night. I'm gonna go down to the picnic table now and talk to you. Love a picnic table. And better yet, you gotta love a beautiful morning like this, right? The backdrop, Happy Haven SUV in the backdrop that I traveled in for over 2 years. Before that was the Acura, for those of you who are new. Yep, decided to call it a day at around 7 o'clock last night. I was in the other corner on the far end. There was some shade and I was like, okay, should I stay here? And I was like, no, Linda, it is way too hot. I looked and it was like still like 87 and it said feels like 97. And I was like, don't do it. Just continue on, because I only have now a few hours left of driving. So, and I drive on the slow side and I take my time and enjoy the sights and stop at Love's, and you know, then there's the potty breaks, and I'm in no hurry, you know, I've got time on my hands. So after I went to the restroom here, I came back and I was like starting to drive out, and then the shade had already hit in the corner where I'm at now. I love a corner, you know that. Coffee. And I kept debating, and I had done this as a nomad too. Do I stay at this rest area? Do I go another 50 miles? Especially in the hot temperatures. Now, if it was perfect temperatures, I didn't question it. I just stopped, even if it was 5 or 6, because then I can pudsey, I can bring out my gas wand, put it on the picnic table, have a nice dinner, everything's kosher. But when it's hot weather, I usually choose to continue driving. Well, it was a full day. You know, it was the beach and taking pictures and just being in touch with my grand sweet peas and looking at all the sights. And I stopped in a couple little grocery stores to find some postcards, and I didn't find any. They were all out of beach ones. So I'm moving on down the road at an extraordinary slow pace. And I was like, you know what? I pulled up here and I'm still not deciding for sure. And I'm like, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. So here I am. I'm excited that I just didn't rush back, for lack of a better way of saying it, to a day short of my vacation and, you know, be carrying in bags and everything. It probably would have been close to midnight last night, because yeah, I was still, like I said, a few hours out. And my personality wants to unload everything when I get home, and I'm not settled in my spirit because of all the driving. So I decided to stay another day, and I'm really happy that I did. It's a little after 9, or maybe it's after 10 now, I can't remember. But gonna just take my time. I'll probably stop at a grocery store close to home and pick up some milk. I'm out of milk now, and a couple other things. So make it a nice day of it, rather than getting home last night and then be like, okay, now I'm back in my 4 walls. I love my 4 walls, but I like this just as well or better. This is a second home to me, being at these beautiful rest areas that I happen to like to call or refer to as parks. Didn't sleep that well. I'm pretty I'm a little loopy and babbling, I babble more when I'm tired. I mean, babble. I forget what I said and I keep going. So we won't keep this too long for you. I don't know, maybe only slept a couple hours at a time. And I had a blunder, guys. My Jackery has died. I don't know if it's gonna be able to be revived. I Googled, Jackeries last about 500 cycles or around 3 years. Well, mine's over that, and I haven't used it in a good 8 or 10 months. So I think the battery, the sine wave battery has probably died. My fans went out on me yesterday morning about 5 a.m. and I was like, what's that all about? So luckily I had that one battery fan that I showed you in a previous show, and I put used my battery fan last night, and then I had a neck fan too that was hanging on the passenger seat, and after a couple hours I'm like, why am I not using that? And thankfully that battery was still working. Through the night, I can't remember, but maybe ever doing this once or twice max. I turned the AC on for around 5 minutes, full blast, and then turned it off, and then would just suck up that cold and maybe go back to sleep for a little while, until it was hot again. But of course, through the night, by 2 a.m., I think it was around 80. So I had 2 rough months last year. That was Kansas and Missouri when I was going through, headed to Colorado. And then from Colorado, I was headed up to Washington, and so things got better in the summer. And then when I headed back to Kentucky, in September, I had some real struggles in Kentucky and Tennessee as far as the heat. But I always have gone with this too shall pass, and I outweighed my pros and my cons. Yes, heat versus driving till midnight, being in the AC, sleeping comfortably last night, but it's dark where I live, carrying in all my bags, knowing me that I'd want to unload them, that it would take forever for me to unwind. And I just visualized one last part of my vacation. It's like staying an extra day at a hotel. This is my hotel. And I am so happy, even though I'm tired, to be here yet today for the last of my go-round. I've been gone just since Tuesday. It's a mini vacation. Checked out a lot of different areas, looked at some land. I'm not going to be filming that because, again, it's going to be a safety issue. But tying the beach in with that was just perfect. I didn't stay at the beach long. I showed you some clips in a previous show. I hope you enjoyed. Me preparing to go on this trip was one show, then the beach yesterday was another show, and now, I have these spaced out a couple days between each of them, and now today just a little wrap up of what I've been doing. So yeah, that's it. 2 nights at a rest area, 1 night at a Buc-ee's, and I asked permission and I didn't really need to. Buc-ee's is huge and they were awesome. I asked one time in Texas and they had to get my driver's license, and they said not really, but okay. And one night I didn't ask in a Buc-ee's and they were fine, and 2 nights ago I was like, yeah, I'm gonna ask them so I don't, when you don't get a knock, you sleep better, or you know that you're not going to get a knock is what I should say. On down the road I go. Loved it. Don't know if I'll be doing this anytime soon again. Just subscribe, click the bell, share with your friends if you continue to want to follow me on my journey, my next chapter, however that looks. I'll keep you posted. Off and on I get comments about the gifts. Guys, thank you for the gifts. They're going with me. They're beautiful. I love them. I will forever be grateful. This was a season, and we're into the next chapter, into the part of my journey. And I'm very grateful that you're here with me and that you support me and give me your blessing and your kindness throughout. So thank you. I hope you're learning something as we go from season to season. God has a plan for all of us, and we just have to be still, which is hard for me. Pay attention and be quiet, and He'll bring you desires of your heart as well. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Blessings in your day and joy in your journey.